All right, welcome to week 7. This week we are looking at public opinion, the way public opinion is formed and the role that it should play in the governing process. We think about it and we think, well, government should be responsive to the will of the people. But how do we determine what the will of the people is? Public opinion is really central in that regard. It's very important. So over the course of the week, we're going to learn, you're going to be able to describe Americans' core political values and ideologies. You're going to be able to talk about the major forces that shape public opinion. You're going to talk about how Americans' level of political knowledge affects public opinion and democracy. You're going to be able to explain the relationship between public opinion and government, especially as government implements policies. And then you're going to talk a little bit or be able to explain how surveys and big data actually measure public opinion. So these are all very important issues. And of course, when you look at it, today, we say, well, we're very polarized. And a lot of people believe that we are polarized ideologically, that we have these fundamental differences between liberals and conservatives. What unites the two is, or at least historically, has been the idea of personal autonomy. That American politics and American government should be organized in such a way as to maximize the amount of personal autonomy that Americans enjoy in their day-to-day lives. So get government out of people's day-to-day lives. The trouble comes when first of all, the economy becomes so much bigger, so much more interdependent. Corporations become so large. The economy is generating enormous amounts of wealth, and affluence has an impact on government because it has an impact on people's lives. There are, again, some people, in the United States we have a guy in Jeff Bezos that is likely to become a trillionaire in the next, few months. Think about that in terms of personal wealth, how many zeros that is, what that means in terms of money that is available to him. And so with that, you have people that are basically arguing that government needs to intervene in certain ways to try and ensure a more equitable distribution of wealth, that people have opportunities, that when fewer and fewer people control greater and greater levels of income, that produces an economic environment where some people simply lack economic opportunities because there are simply not that many jobs out there. And so there's always this kind of sweet spot. Wealthy people, we need them because they're the ones in a lot of instances that have the money to invest in businesses that will provide jobs. But at the same time, they're not always going to do that. And there are times when we need government to step in to provide, help. Classical liberals are basically saying, keep the government, out of things. And let's focus on, on growing the economy. Doing things like building infrastructure. That's historically been something that liberals and conservatives have largely agreed upon. Conservatives, on the other hand, are much more willing to intervene, not so much in economic relationships, but in social relationships. They want to, regulate behaviors that welfare liberals and social liberals generally view as not something that the government ought to be doing. And of course, Texas's recent anti-abortion law is an illustration of that. And that's an example, again, of conservatives using government to take away a right. Now, of course, conservatives are saying the right to murder the unborn is not a right that's worthy of respecting, but most people don't believe that abortion is in fact murder. That's something, again, we can discuss. I have an open mind about this. Both my parents were in the medical field. Both of them were nurse anesthetists as well as Army officers, so happy to talk about it. We only have the 2 assignments this week as far as I can remember. We have the form and the quiz as always. So let's stay on top of those assignments. Let's make sure we're studying the material really well so that we do well on the quiz. Let's make sure we make all of our posts and that our posts are civil and engaging. All right, let's have a great week.